Hello everyone! Today I want to give you a bit more of a deep dive on how I get the information for the museum. You would probably think Wikipedia or patch notes, and while that is partially true, the patch notes don't often state anything useful. The Wikipedia is very outdated and is laggy as hell. So most of this is going through my own videos, or currently, as I already did all the old stuff, or most of it anyway, it's kinda trying to keep up and learning from the game slash the tiny bit of info that we get on the patch notes. If you guys would like to see some more detailed work done on the museum, please let me know. This is a long-term project after all, so I'm gonna be spending quite a lot of time here. Well, surprisingly, the Wikipedia is doing fine at the moment, but that is the perfect time for me to show you something. Why I say it's outdated, and also not very helpful. For example, the butterflies. The OS Bay is a butterfly that can be found on Humble specifically. Now it's fine, it says that right here. It also says that it costs Terra tokens via space trading, which I think would be accurate. I think on Humble, you were able to do this on Prime. It doesn't really state anywhere where it or when it was introduced, which is kind of sad. And you know, that is one of the main things that I want to know from all these things, is when were they introduced? And at that point you might think, alright, these Steam patch notes will work, right? But let me show you something. This is the patch notes for the most recent Moon update. 2 new tree seeds, 2 new frog eggs, 2 new posters, animal effigies, skins, and new creatures. Why does it not state which ones were added? That makes it extra difficult. Well, besides that fact, something else kind of funny. They introduced 2 new fish. These weren't even mentioned in the patch notes. And heck, even one of them, which is a Atabu, which turns out I wrote wrong here. But this one wasn't even mentioned in the beta patch notes. So the developers, they have a development branch. They would specify things in there as well. This fish was mentioned there, the Stabu. At least it was mentioned by fish, not particularly the name, which makes it very damn difficult. So that's why I have to rely mostly on the videos. Luckily, I've been doing that since the prologue. So luckily, I have a lot of information to see what was added when. For the older ones, it was a little harder to discern, like all these old fish, for example. It's gonna be difficult because I'm not gonna have all of these in the video. But there's a lot of background digging through forums and stuff like that as well. So something I want to fact check today are these statements right here. Atabu was found on Aquilus, and Stabu was found on Selenia. This is where I got the eggs from, and I have a handy little box right here. All the stuff we still have to sort out. I also need to get the frogs from Selenia. I think there's a poster on Humble that we still have to get now too, but that was added a little later. But before I go to another moon and check out the fish, I wanted to take a little look at the Megadome, because depending on what it looks like, it could be a very cool piece to add to the museum here. This thing is, well, it is very big. Not as big as I would have thought, I will admit. How does it look just on the background, though? It needs to be a bit higher, I think, for that to work as a background piece. Besides that, I'm not even sure what the heck I would do here. Unless we can plant the trees inside, I think that could be cool. Let's try that idea out, because right now the trees are displayed going through a little park. But like potentially we could have it in a dome, because you cannot place them inside regular compartments. Let's see, I don't think on this one either, right? No. This is currently, or was the current biggest dome-shaped room that we had. Oh, really? We can also not place it in here? This would be so perfect for it, though. I think maybe other than that, we could display the different flowers in flower pots. I mean, technically we already have a place for that, so not really something I want to do. Alright, let's head over to Aquilus real quick, and we can go check out the fish. And it has been a while since we were last here. I'll let shoot a GPS rocket into the sky. I will admit, I forgot how this base even looked. It's been that damn long. And, it's only been like a month. Oh, probably not even, to be fair. Ooh, we can get silkworms. That's actually good, because it was kind of a pain to get those. Let's see, there's fish over here. Gold with a bunch of blue. It's kind of annoying that we cannot interact with them. Bio nuggets is a thing we can get here, too. Is this the same fish? Yes, it is. Alright, so we know what kind of fish we can get here. We go to our screens, specifically the blueprint one. We did not unlock that as a crafting option? I kind of thought we did. In that case, we're gonna have to make the water life collector. Annoyingly, I do think I took everything away. Actually, I hate that I cannot see correctly what this is, because it's so small, but I think that is the same fish. It looks slightly different to me on this image. Which means I want to go back real quick, get the water life collector, or straight up check out what the other fish even looks like. Because if it's a completely different color... Well, we almost got hit out of the sky there. I'm actually wondering if that is possible. What does the fish egg look like of the other one? Alright, that looks completely different. Yeah, the Atabu was the one from Aquilus. The Stabu has to be the one from Selenia. Well, that's confirmed, I suppose. But it also did show me that Aquilus does have a bunch of good stuff. Like the Bio Nuggets, for example. As well as Silkworms. Those are 2 items that I would like to get shipped to Prime. We also still need the Frog Eggs from Selenia. I think we were able to craft those now, right? So this is the recipe. The Sarin Frog Eggs. Hope I have some generic Froggy. Yes, nice. It is kind of weird that I have not seen them in any of the boxes on Selenia while I was there. Alright, those are being created. So as far as I can tell, there's no real interesting story with these frog eggs. Or with the frogs in general, besides that, you know, they came from the moon update. So what do I do next, you might be wondering? Well, you may have seen it in one of the previous videos if you check that out. If I open my Steam Notes menu, you can see that I have information on a lot of different things, as well as a to-do list. So we still have to make the outfit display, for example. I want to decorate some more. Terraformation room I have in my mind. I want to make a list of major factions that we meet in the world. As of right now, that's just Sentinel Corp, Starform Robotics, the Wardens, Smugglers. Although the Smugglers are like different kind of people, so I'm not sure how exactly I want to do this. There's also the people that lived on Selenia before they messed up that planet. Then the moon update. It added some new posters, and this really annoys me. It doesn't even state an amount. There were new ores added. I got those for sure. I got the new tree seeds. We are currently working on the second frog egg. 2 new posters. Both of these we got, I think. Because I imagine this is just added 1-to-1 on planets in chests. Animal effigies we got. 2 new skins, which are the outfits, which I got. 2 new creatures. I have never seen the one in Aquilus, the crab. Then a little later during a patch, but still part of the moon update, they added a new poster. I haven't seen this one yet, because I haven't been to Humble since that patch, or haven't checked out the biolab at least. So maybe we'll do that today as well, after I've shown you all this. And this is just a note that I need to get interplanetary space trading off the list, because that's how you used to get some Humble items on Prime, but that's no longer a thing. So let's go to where the frog's at. Frog info. Basically what I do is frogs update, and then the next number, which currently is number 3. Then I'm just gonna say moon update, introduced. I cannot make it too long because signs in the game are kind of finicky, so I'm honestly not even sure if this will fit. Added 2 new species. The Saran on Selenia, and the Akuzi on Aquilus. So, you know, next up I would grab my signs, stuff like that, and place them into our museum, and I'll probably place them around here. I think for frogs, the neat thing is, because we can put them down on the tables as well, we can have an island in the middle. If push comes to shove. For fish, on the other hand, I cannot do that. We'll eventually probably have to either move that, or we have to create custom walls here. But anyway, let's put the frog eggs in there. But that's my process. It can be a little slow, especially since I have to go like all over the place, especially now with planetary travel. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this, I think it's just a fun side project. I like collecting things in games. And I think Planet Crafter just has the right amount of items to start creating a museum for. And it also has some interesting lore, like the Treasure Hunter, for example, or the birthday or the anniversary event, you know, stuff like that. Which actually, I don't think the Treasure Hunter or the Treasure Hunt event was even documented well. Being here also gives me a quick checkup on how this system is doing. All of these are full, so I no longer need to bring items to Humble anymore. Alright, it said the poster was in the big biolab on the beach. I think that should be that dome over there. Alright, it said big safe. But that's the funny thing, there is no safe. Unless their ship had a biolab in it? I don't remember, actually. Well, this looks like a biolab of some sort. Place doesn't have a safe though, does it? Not that I can see. Well, I think they might mean something else then. But I guess there were some laboratories over there. I wouldn't particularly say that it's still part of the beach, but I don't know if that actually has its own name. Now, there's more inside the caves though. Are they talking about this biolab? Ah, yes. This is not a safe, man. This is a bloody fridge. But hey, whatever, I guess. We got what we were looking for. You know, while we're on Humble, I actually got to thinking. Towards the northern part of the planet, there's a giant quartz biome. And as you can see, it's pretty blue, meaning they're blazer quartz. When we first got here, this planet was pretty damn cold. I don't think they ever really explained why. And we never really questioned why, because, well, so was Prime, kinda. To a less extent. However, now that we have Selenia and we know that blazer quartz absorb heat, it makes a lot more sense that this planet was once frozen. Because these are large veins and they're exposed. But it also seems like whenever the planet gets hot, it absorbs it and turns it into the energy. And that's how they generate it. Because we know that the blazer quartz were also a great form of energy. But now, it looks like they just take heat and convert it to energy. Because when you first get here, it's not just frozen. These are also pure black, like they're not working. But now they glow blue. I thought that was a pretty interesting little detail. Also, I don't know if I showed you this, but I created a little home. On Humble, this kinda represents what we had before on when we first played the DLC. But that was just kind of an empty shell. This is also a lot smaller. Mainly because, you know, I don't need this as a main base. And I have not finished the top floor yet. To be fair, I think the one in Humble is still empty. So this technically already has more stuff set up. But hey, let's go back to Prime. So this is kind of a look into how I'm working on this museum. If you guys would like to see more or want to know something more specific, please leave it in the comments down below. I'm going to be working on adding in the new stuff from Selenia, Aqualus, as well as the things we got from Humble. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.